Welcome back to the deep dive. And wow, you have passed us with a massive stack of analysis this week.
A big one.
Yeah, we're covering the AFC divisional round matchups. And on top of that, all the concurrent, frankly dramatic coaching chaos across the league.
Right, the coaching carousel is in full swing. It's nonstop.
So our mission today, it's pretty simple. We are drilling deep into the specific tactical blueprints, the personnel shifts, and really the psychological warfare that defines January football.
Exactly. We want you to walk away understanding the why. Not just what happened, but why the biggest wins happen and why some of these really tough firings go down.
So we have the X's and O's for two just phenomenal playoff games.
New England versus Houston and Buffalo versus Denver.
But we're pairing that with an equally crucial look at what happened in LA and Philadelphia.
Yeah, we're going to examine what makes that coordinator job arguably the hardest and maybe most disposable role in all of professional sports.
It's a full dive into strategy, resilience, and just the relentless pressure cooker that is the NFL.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's jump right into the tactical deep end. Let's start with the New England Patriots offense, which has, quietly become this analytical marvel under Drake May.
It really has. His success this season, it's not just about raw accuracy, though he did finish with the best completion percentage in the NFL.
Which is incredible.
It is. But it's more about the distribution of responsibility. Think about this for a second.
Okay.
9 different Patriots had at least 200 receiving yards this season.
9. That's the most in the entire league, and just one shy of the all-time record.
That kind of distribution is, well, it's astounding, especially today, when so many teams just feed 1 or 2 main guys.
It tells you their success is schematic, not just pure star power.
Exactly. And the sources really zero in on one specific heavy package they use, a package they call Fire Munford, featuring a crucial 6th offensive lineman.
I love that name, Fire Munford. So on the surface, the goal seems pretty straightforward, right? Maximum protection for May.
Protection is the functional purpose, yes. But the real genius is psychological.
How so?
Well, when New England brings out 6 offensive linemen plus 2 tight ends, they are visually, strategically, just screaming at the defense to expect a run.
They're basically yelling, "Here comes the heavy run game."
Precisely. And this forces the opponent, and we saw this against the Chargers, to match up with their big bodies. That often means they're only keeping 4 defensive backs on the field.
So New England is dictating the defense's personnel before the ball is even snapped.
That's the game. They force you to load the box.
And that's when they strike it downfield. They build deep play action right into this heavy set. The source breaks down a concept they call the sluggo scene.
Yeah, and let's slow down here for a second so you can really visualize this.
Okay.
You've got this massive formation that's screaming run. The linebackers are crashing down. The defense has fewer defensive backs deep.
Right.
Then you run play action. The linebackers bite, and now you have 2 receivers streaking downfield against maybe only 2 deep safeties.
So the goal of this sluggo scene isn't some complex read for the quarterback.
Not at all. It's designed to create a literal 2-on-1. You're targeting that last deep defender.
So that safety has to choose between 2 vertical routes. If he drifts inside to cover the seam route,
You know exactly where to go with the ball. You throw that out and up route, which is now 1-on-1 on the sideline with, tons of space.
it's an engineered mismatch.
It's beautiful. It's leveraging the defense's expectation against them. That is strategic misdirection at its absolute highest level.
So how does this all translate to their upcoming game against the Houston Texans defense this weekend? The source material gives some very specific advice.
Well, the advice is clear. For New England to win, they have to stick with what works. Don't get cute.
Just run the blueprint.
Run the blueprint. The analysis recommends running that 6 offensive lineman set with Fire Munford a massive 20 to 25 times.
Wow.
And taking 8 to 10 deep shots off of it, they have to challenge the integrity of that Texan secondary.
And there's a specific player warning in there too.
Yeah, the analysis says their receiver, Booty, who is just instrumental in those downfield routes out of the heavy set, he needs to have the best game of the season. If they expect those deep shots to actually hit, he has to win his matchups.
So a lot of pressure on the scheme and on Booty this Sunday.
Huge pressure.
Let's use that idea of scheme success as a bridge here to our next segment. I'm talking about the chaos defining the NFL's coaching carousel, because a scheme is only as good as the coach running it.
And we've just seen a lot of schemes fail spectacularly. It really shines a light on the internal psychology of success just as much as the X's and O's.
It's fascinating, too, because we're seeing two very different approaches to finding a new coordinator.
Both driven by the same thing, though.
Yeah.
The overwhelming pressure of failure.
Let's start in Los Angeles with the Chargers. After firing Greg Roman, Jim Harbaugh has declared a very wide search. But he has one foundational priority. Physicality. And crucially, he's not limiting the search to one specific system. He said he's looking for, and I'm quoting here, the best one that has a track record, has proven success.
And that emphasis on a proven track record is so important, especially when you look at Roman's tenure.
Right.
It's easy to just criticize the results, but the sources point out the context. Roman's run-heavy system was incredibly difficult to execute because their offensive line was just decimated by injuries.
You can't run the ball with a banged-up O-line.
You can't. So the new OC isn't just installing a playbook. They have to build a whole new identity around toughness. And, more importantly, they have to be the one to help Justin Herbert finally take that elusive next step.
That's the big one.
It is. The analysis even brings up Liam Cohen's success with Trevor Lawrence as sort of a perfect model for what the Chargers might be looking for.
Okay, so that sounds like a long-term structural fix, but the situation in Philly where the Eagles fired both Kevin Patullo and Brian Johnson, that feels more like an immediate emotional reaction.
It definitely brings up this question about the internal fortitude you need for this job.
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni, the Eagles head coach, he basically said the coordinator role requires people who were built for this.
And he wasn't talking about drawing up plays.
Not at all. He was talking about mental resilience. He said that for coordinators who struggled through a losing streak, like Patullo and Johnson did, their lives became, quote, absolute hell and it was misery.
That is a staggering quote. It really forces you to pause and think about the non-football side of this. What does that kind of professional hell even look like day to day when your system is collapsing?
It looks like isolation. It looks like second-guessing everything. A complete loss of joy in the work because that failure becomes so personal.
So Sirianni's saying the job is less about drawing up the perfect play for Jalen Hurts.
And more about enduring that misery and maintaining the team's belief when everyone on the outside is calling for your head. It's a test of mental and emotional endurance, first and foremost.
Which feeds directly into the big question of autonomy. The sources are speculating that Sirianni might give someone like Kellen Moore full autonomy over the offense, something he perhaps didn't give Patullo.
And if you're a talented OC looking for a job, that's the first question you ask. How much responsibility do I have versus how much actual control?
Because the risk-reward is totally skewed when the head coach is also an offensive guy.
It is. The head coach can overrule you, but the coordinator still takes the fall when it fails. So that prospective OC has to wonder, do I really want this?
Well, they might prefer a job with a defensive-minded head coach.
With Tall Bowles, who was mentioned. Somewhere, they know they can truly run their own show without that constant interference. The Eagles' search is as much about personality fit as it is about schematic genius.
That psychological warfare is just as intense as anything on the field.
Absolutely.
Let's switch back to the divisional round then, to a huge strategic battle centered entirely on one guy, Denver's quarterback, Bo Nix. He's already making franchise history. Set a Broncos record this season with 7 game-winning drives.
7. That leads the whole NFL. He's ahead of Hall of Famer John Elway's 1985 record.
That stat tells you one thing. The guy has ice in his veins.
He does. And Sean Payton has a very clear blueprint for how to get Nix comfortable early in this huge game. The sources outline 3 foundational keys.
Okay, break them down for us.
First, use his legs. Not just to run, but to throw the ball outside the pocket. He's one of the best in the league throwing on the move, and they need that early.
Makes sense.
Second, establish the run. That's non-negotiable. Trust the O-line, get R.J. Harvey going, and wear down that Buffalo defense.
And the third key is all about speed.
Exactly. Get the ball out of his hands fast. We're talking wide receiver screens, running back screens, screens to the tight end, Evan Ingram. Just quick, easy completions to build his confidence.
But wait, if Denver leans that heavily on screens and quick stuff, doesn't that make them predictable?
It does.
It feels like you're inviting a quick blitz from Buffalo. That seems like a high-risk plan.
Well, that is the friction point. And it connects directly to Nix's one big established weakness, which is the source material is clear that his valleys have been pretty poor when he plays against teams that excel at zone defense.
And the Buffalo Bills just happen to be
one of the most used and best zone defenses in the entire league. It's a perfect schematic counter.
So if they know Nix struggles against zone, What is Buffalo's expected game plan on defense?
The sources say they will be shocked if the Bills play man coverage for even 5 snaps in this game.
Wow, so all zone.
All zone. Buffalo's strategy is purely psychological. They want to force Nix to hesitate. They want him scanning the field, asking, is that linebacker dropping? How many defenders are back there?
The more you make him think.
The more frantic he becomes. That's the word the sources used.
And that frantic processing messes up Denver's whole blueprint.
It does, because Buffalo's linebackers are not only great in coverage, they excel at running to the football and tackling in space. That directly complicates Denver's perimeter screen game.
So they're attacking his hesitation from every possible angle.
Every angle. Their D linemen are even coached to read his throwing trajectory to try and bat down those quick passes.
And despite all of Denver's success this year, they are getting what the sources call the ultimate disrespect. The Broncos are a #1 seed, and they are an underdog in a divisional round game. That's almost unheard of.
The only other time we've seen it recently was the Eagles with Nick Foles at quarterback, and he at least had the excuse of being a backup.
So the sports books are clearly dismissing Nix.
They're viewing him as the most vulnerable quarterback left in the playoffs. But you have to look at the counter stats.
Right.
Remember those 7 game-winning drives? He has the best touchdown-to-interception ratio and the best QDR in the entire league this year when trailing in the 4th quarter.
So he's built for those frantic situations, just maybe not the methodical one.
Exactly. And there's a historical parallel here that adds another layer of tension.
Last year's playoffs.
Last year's playoffs, Nix played the Bills as a rookie, and it was a complete mess. 140 yards, 50% completion. The sources said he was completely rattled.
So this game is the definitive test of his growth.
It's the ultimate test of maturation under pressure. Can the clutch quarterback survive the zone scheme that targets his biggest weakness?
Before we wrap this all up, let's get you a few quick hit injury updates that will definitely affect things this weekend.